Welcome back, everybody. My name is Alexander Nikitin, and this is the next edition of Forex Market Forecast. Okay, last week we had New Zealand, Canada as an opportunity to get long. As you see, price didn't hit the entry, but the pattern is still valid. So maybe we have that movement this way next time. Okay, what I wanted to tell you today is 3 opportunities to get into a trend. First of all, you need to know what is a trend. A trend is a series of higher highs or higher lows, or it is a series of lower highs and lower lows. It looks like this zigzagging structure. This and this. These movements are called swings, or they are also called waves. Trend consists of swings. There are two kinds of swings. In my definition of a trend, they are impulses and corrections, or they are extensions and pullbacks, contractions. Okay, first of all, I am looking for impulses. What is an impulse? An impulse is a movement that violates some law, or in case of downside, or it is a movement that violates some high in case of the upside movement. Okay, what we have here, we have initial high, initial low, then we have a lower high and a lower low. According to a trend definition, we have a trend installed. It is a series of lower lows and lower highs. This high and this is a lower high. This low and this is a lower low. Okay, after we have this trend, I am marking the range of impulses. So whatever price action takes place within this range is called a correction. And whatever violation of that range is called another impulse. Having another impulse, we are having another range. And again, whatever price action within this range is called a correction. And whatever price action violating this range is called an impulse again. This impulse installed another range. And now is the thing that is very interesting here. You see these overlapping ranges, they are shown on this chart as deeper green. This range is green, this range is green, and this is deep green, at least a bit deeper. It is very important range here because it is a resistance zone here and here. It is resistance zone. Usually when price hits this range, it reverses and then the trend continues. So in our today discussion, we have this range. It is a bit wide, but it is a very good, valid range. So how would I get involved in that market? I'm looking for price to go to this range, and that's it, and I would sell it. Of course, it's not that very much simple. Of course, I've got some rules, and that rules tell me that to get involved, I need some harmonic pattern. And here we have one. It is called the cipher pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 786 is the level that I would enter it. You see the structure that zigzagging to the downside. Low, lower low, lower low, and I expect this to be another lower low. If I wouldn't have that another lower low, and I will have higher low, then my structure is broken and no need to stay in this trade anymore. I would get out immediately. That's why I am placing my stop losses exactly at A point. 1 pip above says that we have a higher low instead of lower low. That invalidates the whole idea. Let me draw some fips so you could see better. Here is the entry, 786 exactly, and here would be the stop loss, exactly 1. No need to risk more, no need to place your stop loss here in hopes, okay, the price will reverse somewhere higher. No need. If only we have 1 pip above that range, just get out immediately. This is the idea. And let me calculate the targets. I'm using 618 target from the lowest close to the entry point. Here it is. If you analyze the position, calculating the risk to reward ratio, you will notice that it is almost always will be 2 versus 1. You are risking $1 and potential gain, potential profit is $2. That means that you may not be right every time. No need to be right every time to generate the money. To tell the truth, to generate profits, you only need to be right 34% of the time. If you are 33% of the time, you stay break-even. If you are 34% of the time, you are generating money. But because of the trend, because of the underlying direction of that tendency, we have more probabilities. The price has the probability about 55% to continue the trend than to reverse the trend. So this 55% probability of this profits, 55% probability, and in addition, it is twice bigger than loss. 55% of the time you are winning $2, and only 45% of the time you are losing $1. Isn't that good? Very nice. Okay, another opportunity is Aussie Cat. And again, what we have here, let us see. We have initial high and initial low movement that installs our first range that we will be looking at. And we see that price moves within this range, and that movement is called a correction. And after that, price violates this range. So the violation is called an impulse again, another impulse. And this installed another range. And you see that overlapping area is acting as a resistance area. When price goes to this resistance, it turns to continue the trend. It reverses within this zone. And what we have now, we have another area, another range. And you see these 3 ranges overlapping. This is the most likely reversal zone. But this is also a good reversal zone, and this is also a good reversal zone here. So all these overlapping is a very good potential reversal zones before price continues the trend. Okay, let me show you what exactly I'm looking at, and at whatever price I'm going to enter the market. Boom, boom, boom. Cipher pattern again. And the entry is 786. 780. So let it be 788. Just a bit higher of that range. So in this case, we will have a higher high that is a bit higher than the previous high. And the only hope for us to continue the trend is that if the market makes this movement to be a false breakout, and it happens pretty often, just believe me, we pretty often have false breakouts before the trend continues. The main idea is continue the trend. Let me drop my position analyzer here. Okay, short position, stop loss is exactly X, and the target is exactly 618. So it is looking this way. I'm expecting price to get a bit higher. If it gets a bit higher, I will sell it, and my target will be here. Okay, let's see how it goes, and let us skip to next. What is next is Canadian yen. Wonderful, wonderful. Fantastic. You see that movement, initial high and initial low. Let me zoom it a bit so you could see the price movements. And then we have, sorry, need to disable magnet mode. The range installed. After the range is installed, we see price action moving within this range. It is called a correction. And after that, we see a violation. And that violation gives us another range. Okay, let me do it this way. You see, price action went into this range, the overlapping zone, and it found some resistance here and began continue to the downside, began movement, the movement to the downside. This movement within the range, the previous range, was a correction. And the next movement is here. It is a violation, another impulse. Okay, let me draw the impulse range. And you see what happens. As soon as price action gets into this range, overlapping zone, it starts moving to the downside. See the idea? The idea is that price usually finds some resistance somewhere in this overlapping zone. Sometimes it is in the middle of the zone, sometimes it is in the beginning of the zone, sometimes it is deep in this zone, but somewhere in this zone, price action usually finds some resistance. In case of downtrends, of course. In case of uptrends, it would be some support. Okay, what we see, price moved within the previous impulse range, and then it violated this range, giving us another impulse, and that impulse installs another range. So you draw this range, and what do you see now? You see now price is moving a bit of sideways, a bit of somehow complex correction, not very straight, but it is approaching this zone. So the idea stays the same. Somewhere within this zone, overlapping zone, we most likely will see a reversal. We don't want the price go above this zone. That's why we put our stop loss exactly here. I do not enter without any rules, so I just use harmonic patterns. And in this case, we have a Gartley pattern. Some of you would say, okay, if the p-point ratio is less than 618, it's not a Gartley, it is a bat. For me personally, my research has proven that bets are not that much better than Gatlis. If you treat every pattern as a Gatli, no matter what is the B-point ratio, it will be working exactly the same, and it will be working, to my mind, it is even better. Just see that you have the B point 50 and you are trading bets, so you are waiting for 886 or whatever ratio is for your bet, and you are missing so many opportunities that start from 786. So you have to choose. Either you want a better risk to reward but less accuracy, because the potential reversal zone between your entry and your stop loss is very tight and your target is miles away, so you have to choose. Either you have that huge risk to reward, being $1 of loss versus $4 of profit, or you would have a larger zone but a better accuracy, because 786 is much stronger level. Price usually respects it more than it respects 886. For me personally, 786 is much better level. So that's why I'm not distinguishing between bets and Gatlis. They are all Gatlis for me. 786 is my entry, exactly 1 is my stop loss. Calculating the target. Note that I draw my targets starting from the lowest close. Not from the low, but from the lowest close. It is also based on my research work, because it works better. Target. Okay, and if I draw a position analyzer, you will see the risk to reward ratio. Okay, good. Almost 1 versus 2, 1.97. Okay, so these are the 3 opportunities for the next week that I will be closer looking at if they complete. Canadian, Aussie Canada, and pound yen. And of course, one opportunity from the last week, it was New Zealand Canada. It is still valid. Let me draw some rectangles here also. This is a rectangle. Good. Impulse range. And this is another impulse range. And you see price went within this zone. Of course, it can continue moving to the upside, and my trades wouldn't be triggered. But if it goes to the downside first, my pattern will be completed, and I expect price to hit that level at least to close my position, to generate some money. Okay, that's it for the day. Let's meet next week and see what changes we have. Thank you for watching. Please give me some comments, press likes and subscribe, so you will stay updated with my new ideas. Thank you very much. Goodbye.